Welcome, wanderers of the night. You've stepped into the shadows where light fades and the unseen whispers its darkest secrets. In the quiet stillness of the forest, where moonlight barely touches the ground, something stirs. Unseen eyes watch, and silent footsteps echo through the pines. Welcome to Enlightenment in the darkness, where the forgotten and the forsaken whisper their stories. Tonight, we delve into the shadows of Acadia National Park, a place where the trees hold secrets darker than night itself. These are the true tales of those who disappeared without a trace, swallowed by the wilderness, their souls forever lost among the pines. This is Vanished in the Pines, Acadia's Missing Souls. Listen closely, for sometimes the forest speaks, and it remembers. Under the pale glow of a full moon, Acadia National Park transforms into a realm where the veil between the living and the lost grows thin. Twisted pine trees creak like ancient sentinels, their shadows stretching long and dark over fog-shrouded paths. Whispered voices seem to float on the cold, salty breeze that drifts in from the Atlantic, carrying tales of vanished hikers, forgotten souls who wander the dense woods and rocky shorelines. Hidden in the thick underbrush, the ghostly remnants of old campsites and abandoned trails lie tangled in moss and mystery. At night, the eerie silence is broken only by the distant howl of unseen creatures. Or the soft crackling of dead leaves beneath invisible footsteps. Some say the spirits of those who disappeared in these woods still roam, waiting, watching, and beckoning the curious deeper into the dark heart of Acadia. The mystery of Ruth Ann Miller. What happens when a hiker walks into the woods and never returns? In tonight's haunting tale, we uncover the chilling and true story of Ruth Ann Miller, a 48-year-old woman who vanished without a trace along Acadia National Park's legendary Precipice Trail in 2005. Was it a tragic accident or something far more mysterious? With no clues, no remains, and no logical explanation, her story has become one of Acadia's greatest unsolved vanishings. Some say she stepped into another world, guided by forces only the forest understands. This is the real story of Ruth Ann Miller, a woman who stepped onto a path one bright summer morning and vanished without a trace. It was July of 2005, and 48-year-old Ruth Ann Miller had arrived in Bar Harbor, Maine, for what friends described as her soul reset. She'd recently gone through a spiritual awakening, fascinated by sacred geometry, forest energy, and messages from the natural world. She booked a room at a quiet inn and planned to hike one of Acadia's most dramatic trails. The Precipice Trail, known for its iron rungs, sheer drops, and panoramic views of Mount Desert Island. At 7:30 a.m., she signed her name into the trail register. It was a perfect day. Clear skies, light breeze. Ruth stepped onto the trail and was never seen again. When she didn't return that night, the innkeeper alerted rangers. Her car was still in the lot, her room untouched. Volunteers, dogs, drones, and expert climbers swept the cliffs, the woods, even the waters below. But the forest gave nothing back. No scraps of fabric, no broken branches, no scent, no camera. It was as if Ruth had slipped between the trees and into another world. The Precipice Trail is known not just for danger, but for its strange atmosphere. Locals speak of a pulse on the rocks, and some hikers report time lapses or seeing figures at the edge of the cliffs that vanish when approached. A ranger once said, "You feel watched, not in a bad way, but like something old is aware of you." And Wabanaki legend warns of skywalkers, spirits that dwell in the high places, watching, waiting. They appear as birds, or shadows, or silent winds. They guide seekers, or they take them. Some believe Ruth was reaching out to something on her hike. Maybe she found it, or maybe it found her. To this day, Ruth Ann Miller remains missing. No clues, no remains, just a name in a trail book and an empty mountain echo. So what happened to her? A tragic accident? A doorway into spirit? Or a call, answered? We may never know. But here, in the silence of the pines and stone, her story still stirs the wind. Acadia National Park, where the fog hides more than just the mountains. This is the true and chilling story of Keith Reardon, a man swallowed by the silence, a mystery that remains unsolved, and one that echoes through the trees like a whisper lost in time. Keith Reardon was a 60-year-old outdoorsman, quiet by nature, but full of life. He arrived in Bar Harbor, Maine, in early October 2004, seeking peace, solitude, and a brisk hike through Acadia's famed Cadillac mountain trails. It was the kind of place where people go to reconnect with nature. Vast granite peaks, ancient glacial lakes, and towering pine forests that seem to breathe. On the morning of his disappearance, Keith had breakfast, packed a light day bag, and told the innkeeper he'd be back by sunset. But he never returned. His car was found parked at the Cadillac Mountain trailhead. Undisturbed, the weather had been calm, no signs of a storm or sudden danger. Search and rescue teams arrived swiftly, combing miles of trail with helicopters, dogs, and thermal imaging. Nothing. Not a thread of clothing, not a footprint, not even a scent trail. It was as though the forest had swallowed him whole. Local Wabanaki legends speak of the shifting veil in certain places, spots where the spirit world and the physical world touch. Some believe these thin places exist deep within Acadia, cloaked in fog, marked by silence. One hiker later came forward, anonymously, claiming they had seen a shadow figure near the cliffs that day, unmoving, watching, and gone in a blink. The area where Keith disappeared is known for optical illusions in the fog, but some say the forest plays tricks to keep what it takes. Could Keith have wandered into one of these thin places? Or did something ancient, something unseen, lead him off the path? We may never know. These are just a few chilling true tales from Maine's Acadia National Park. And there are many more still lurking in the mist, waiting to be told. The forest keeps its secrets, but not forever. Stay curious, stay aware, and always listen for the whispers in the pines. If tonight's true mysteries lured you deeper into the shadows and stirred a flicker of light within the darkness, then please take a moment to like and subscribe to Enlightenment in the Darkness, where the unseen stirs and the silence remembers. And if you listen closely, you just might hear them whisper back. May your path stay lit. May the winds guide you safely. And may the veil remain thin enough to remember.